I have always been a big fan of Matteo Garrone. I have a lot of friends who are Italian and who are actors, and I have been part of conversations where they're all wishing he would work more with actors, because sometimes his leading roles have been real people, and everybody's dream is to work with him. So I was shocked when I got the call to have the opportunity to work with him. And so it was a yes before I read the script. Yes, the script was very good, but you could have not imagined with that script or any other script what the film was going to turn into. It is so visually powerful. And for example, also my character had a lot more lines in the script that explain a lot how I felt and what was happening. And before we started the film, he told me he was going to take all that away from me and that I was meant to give it without the lines. And we worked like that every scene, and it was really a great experience to go through with a director like Matteo.
What do you mean you can't fight him?
And you know, I have a funny anecdote because I showed a very early on clip to somebody that I respect a lot and who's a friend, Bradley Cooper. And I had been telling him about the director and stuff. And I didn't tell him anything about the story. And when I showed him the clip without any lines, he said, "You're sad because you cannot have a child." And I was so proud that he was able to get that without any explanation or anything. And I just think that he's a genius. I think that Matteo is a genius. I did not alter the script at all. I did not attempt to alter the script or improvise. I did as I was told because I had blind trust, and because you cannot guess what he's going to do. You cannot understand what film he's making because he's very unique. His thought process is different than anything you can come up with. And he's very, very authentic. I was sitting next to Toby Jones during the premiere, and when the movie was over, he said, "Wow, now I get it." That's exactly what was going through my head when the film was over. And so not only with the script, but even being a part of it, it was hard to grasp what he was seeing until you see the film. My collaboration with him was great. I had to be very brave. You need to be very brave, also because he manages to make every scene physically very difficult. Even if it looks like it's not difficult, somehow he's gonna make it complicated and challenging. And it was exciting. It's scary and exciting at the same time to go to work every day, because I had no idea what was gonna be thrown at me. But I felt safe, nevertheless. Even though some of them were very dangerous, creatively, I felt safe. I think what you can learn the most about him is the courage to be yourself and to not try to go for what is supposed to work or any rules, but to be brave enough to find within the moment things that you didn't dare to think about, because he had it very specific, every shot. And then when we got there, he would force himself not to do it that way, but to find something that he never could have imagined before until it was in that moment. And he would push it and push it and push it until he found it. And the truth is that we do many takes, they're not really edited afterwards. He would make them impossible to edit because they were all so different, because he was looking for different things. But every time he said, okay, that's it, move on, those are the takes that are in the movie. Every single time.
The only one bond of blood that you have is with me, your mother. And it is to me that you owe respect and obedience. I am your queen. Don't you ever forget it.
There is a scene where my son comes to see me and I threaten him that he cannot see his friend anymore. And it was a very big room. And he said, I want you to use the room as you're talking and walk around. And we started with that. And at the end, the scene is me sitting down, not moving. But how it, every single take helped me to get to what you see in that moment. So there was nothing that you did, even if it's not on the screen, that was not helpful for what's on the screen.
If I ever see you with him again, you will both regret it.
Commanding the room, but I guess as while we did the other takes, I was earning it and earning it and earning it with a lot of physicality, because he wanted me to use the space. He wanted me to use my body. And then he said, okay, now we're gonna sit down. But there were times where we would get to the set and we would do the scene, and it, to all of us, the scene was perfect and he was still not there. And all of a sudden he'd say, it's the set. It's not the right sensation. We're moving. And we'd have to start all over again somewhere else that needed to be lit. Or it was the light. The light was gorgeous. Said, no, it's not the right mood. And we'd have, but we would do the scene, and that's when he would feel it, and then relight in a different way. Everything was specific, so specific, and at the same time, so free and open. It's hard. It looks like I'm contradicting myself, but in the Matteo Garrone world, this contradiction becomes kind of like a way of stability and a style. I had a lot of compassion for this woman, and I understood her because I also had a child not until I was 41. So I understand her fear of not being able to experience motherhood. And also because I am Mexican, Lebanese, Spanish, we are very possessive with our children. And it's something that I work on every day because I don't want to be like her. But I think I really understood her.
You have my hands. Even though you were inside me only one night, you still managed to take on my form.